It's time for the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Powerful and liberating business strategies you can start in 5 minutes or less. Now, here's your host, Dean Soto.
Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of FreedomIn5Minutes.com and Prosulum.com, and we're here again with another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode. Today's topic is this: how multiplayer online video games teach you to be a massive consumer. That and more coming up. Good morning. Hey, so if you have not gone to Google and typed in Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, you better go do that right now. If you go to Google, type in Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, and you type in Apple Podcasts after that, Freedom in 5 Minutes, Apple Podcast, it'll take you to the place where you can subscribe to this podcast on Apple iTunes. You could do the same thing with Spotify. Type in Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, Spotify, or Stitcher, or many, many other places. And you'll be able to get this whenever you want on your mobile device, and anything else. You'll be subscribed and you'll get the latest and greatest. You will absolutely love it. So so every now and again, I get this hankering. For some bottering. That doesn't even make sense. Botting, B-O-T-T-I-N-G. There are games out there where that is a big no-no. No botting. Don't you bot. What the heck is a bot? What are you talking about botting? B-O-T-T-I-N-G, Dean. Well, a bot is something that is essentially a robot that does all of the things for you. It gives you all of the... It basically runs the game and does all of the quests and does all of the stuff for you. Now, why is that a bad thing? It's a bad thing because they want you to consume and they want you to play fair, right? They want you to play fair on this game. Well, so for a long time, I actually, I can't believe it's already been almost 2 years. For a long time, I've been playing this game called Final Fantasy 14. Really cool game. The whole Final Fantasy series is a really neat series. I actually play the Final Fantasy series with my oldest daughter. We're actually playing Final Fantasy 7. They are going to be making a remake of Final Fantasy 7, which is going to be pretty interesting and cool. But we are playing Final Fantasy 7. The thing that we love about these types of games, not all of them, not all of the Final Fantasy series is that great, but for the most part, the storylines are really, really cool, and it has a lot of emotional and a lot of very archetypal images. One of our favorite games is a game called Chrono Trigger, which is pretty dang. I love that game. Anyway, I digress. So for the past 2 years, I've enjoyed playing this game, not because necessarily of the storyline, but because I'm able to easily bot the game. I'm able to easily automatically do things within the game where I can program some bots to go and do various things. There's a lot of tools that you can use that allow you to do that. Well, the other night, so every now and then I'll stop the subscription because it does get expensive, especially if you're I try and run 4 bots at the same time so it can run its own party. It's doing all its stuff all by itself within a party of 4 different robots. So I'm going through this fantasy land and doing all that jazz, and I turn off the computer and they're running these dungeons where really nobody's supposed to be able to even know, like, be able to see you. You can let this thing run, and nobody's going to catch you botting or anything like that. And this morning I wake up and I see a little message from someone named Applesauce, which is you can name your character whatever you want, but it said HMax bot LOL, which I guessing that's some type of bot software or something like that, some different type of bot software than I use. And I'm like, crud. Like, how did someone catch me? Because what they can do is they can then report you and let you know, report you, and then you'll get your account suspended. And I've had my account suspended many, many times. And usually after a while, they won't even tell me sometimes how long they're going to suspend. They just suspend, and you have to go with it, whatever it is. And then after a while, I'll go and try and log into one of my accounts, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm back. Which I'm guessing the reason they do that is because, like, it's money. they're getting their money. They're getting they're suspending for 7 days or 30 days or whatever. But they're like, yeah, but we don't mind having the money. It's not that big of a deal, because you have people. Anyway, all that being said, why am I even saying this? Is that so I see this person, and in my initial reaction is like, oh, dang, all that work, all that. Now I have to go back to all this again, and I have to go back to not. I don't play the game by itself. Like, I just have to go back to doing something else and waiting it out and stuff. And I'm like, that sucks. I just started up again, just started botting, and because one of the things that personally I love, it's the whole systems things that goes on in the business. I love seeing things work by themselves and knowing that in the background it's doing the work for me. It's giving value, right? Well, these massive multiplayer online games, they want you to consume. They want you to sit there literally for hours and hours and hours and hours a day. And they want you to get so consumed that when, new gear come out, or new bonuses come out, new extensions, new expansions, new this, new that, you're going to be one of the first to grab them because you want that extra edge, right? You want that extra thing, or that new piece of entertainment. They want you to have that going on in your head. And literally, if I look, so these characters are maxed out characters, essentially, for the most part. And if I were to sit there and max out just one of these characters, sit there doing it all alone, pressing the button, I literally, if I count the amount of hours, it's in the hundreds, if not thousands of hours on this thing. And that's what they want you to do. They want you to, if you're mining for gold and for resources and things, they want you traveling by yourself over to the thing, pressing the button a couple of times, going to the next one, pressing another button a couple of times, going to the next one, pressing another button. They want you fighting. They want you doing the quest. They want you doing all of that stuff. Because the more that they can suck you in to that repetition, the more that they're able to consume off of you, like a vampire. And don't get me wrong, like it's business, right? It's business. It's part of the success of this game, so to speak. And they want also you to they want things to be a little bit fair, right? They want people who are doing this to not feel like, hey, but this guy over here I'm playing on this PlayStation, but this guy on the PC, he's able to bot and I'm sitting here for hours and hours and hours and this guy is able to just press a button and let the thing go. That's not fair. Which is totally understandable. But it's the same thing as in business. This is what I'm preaching on. Oh, man. Same thing in business. This is so important because a lot of business people say, because I have friends who run, multi-million-dollar businesses, and some of them literally think it's not fair. It's not fair to have something that is just doing its thing, like a bot, a business that's just doing its thing. And it's funny because I used to have this weird thing where these guys were making millions. My friends were making millions. My people that I look up to, they're making millions of dollars in revenue. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And here I am, building a cat house. Here I am spending most of my time in the morning chatting with my family, having breakfast, going out, building a cat house, cutting down poison ivy, doing all this stuff. And this is not real. This is not I should be this is not the way it should be in business, but it's actually the opposite, where they're more and more, they're like, man, I wish I had the cheat code like that. And I'm like, you can. Why do you think you can't do that? Why do you think you can't get the cheat code? And some of them have. Some of them got virtual systems architects and from Freedom in 5 Minutes and prosulum.com, prosulum.com, and they did get the cheat code. But some feel like it's cheating. Some feel like it's there's a little bit of a botting situation, right, that you would find with some of these types of video games. So why am I bringing this up? So one was just the fact that I'm like, crap, that I got caught yet again. So I'm sure my $15 per bot or whatever for the month is going to be wasted a little bit because they will not let me play for a while. But two, it's it really does show you, and because this is not, it shows you that we are taught, even in video games, we're taught in school, we're taught in video games, we're taught in a lot of different ways that we have to be the ones to do everything. That's the only fair way. We have to be the ones. You're the one with the skill. You're the one with the summoning the health angel of whatever, Ashgard. You're the one that can do the ice spell. You're the only one that can do all of that because you're the hero. You're the hero of Final Fantasy 17,000. No. You're a zero if you're literally spending thousands of hours doing something that somebody else could do or that you could program. You're not, and I'm not taking away from your creativity. This is funny because as I'm doing speaking engagements, this is one of the things that comes up a lot, is that you are the creative one. You create the systems. You create the environment, the systems, the processes, all of that. And now you then are able to make that into a process that someone else can do. And you can see this happen over and over with things that people think that it's absolutely impossible, right? But not only that, is having the internal side where you're okay with doing that. You're okay with offloading. You're okay with giving somebody else the keys to the Ferrari that you've built with your own hands. Your own custom Ferrari that nobody else has in the entire world. you're okay with handing the keys over to that. And so, what now is something that you're doing? It could be watching Netflix. It could be playing massive multiplayer online games. It could be stuff in your business that you simply won't let go, even though you could. What are some things right now that are consuming your time when they really don't need to? I want you to be suspended from doing that. I want you to be banned from doing that for 30 days. But give it a try. Create a process document. If you have a virtual systems architect, you can do that in 5 minutes. Let's start getting that going. Because the sooner you start getting that going, the sooner you're going to be able to absolutely enjoy the massive multiplayer game of life. All right, so this is Dean Soto. I'm going to continue my walk with the Lunameister. And I will, so if you haven't checked out freedomin5minutes.com, go check that out. We have a business process scorecard. We have a masterclass there. Actually, also have a 4-video series over at prosulum.com. Going to be doing a lot of cool automation in the next few weeks that's going to be really surprising. You can kind of see just all the things you can do when you start trying to scale yourself and systemize yourself and scale, as Jermaine Griggs would say, my mentor, scale personal attention. So all that being said, I will catch you in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode.
Thanks for listening to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Now, head over to www.freedomin5minutes.com and register for our free masterclass and discover how to start systemizing and automating your entire business 5 minutes at a time. We'll see you next time on the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast.